Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on part 1 of our makeup bag, our crochet hook bag, our pencil case pouch, our whatever it is you want to call it. That is what we are working on today. All right, you will need this yarn, which is the carnival yarn. You can use any yarn you like, either an 8-ply or a 10-ply, or number 3 or number 4 if you are overseas. It doesn't matter. This comes across very thick, so it comes across like a number 4 or a 10-ply. I find it a little bit too big for what I want it for. But it doesn't matter. You could have larger crochet hooks. Stranger things have happened, yeah? And not just that, we're going to have other things in our bag as well. Plus, it's going to be lined. The inside of our bag will be lined. It will be lined and we will have a zipper up the top as well. That's going to happen on Monday. But for now, today's tutorial, all we are doing is these squares, joining them each side and then doing a border. How much yarn you will need? Well, very minimal. 10, 15 grams, 25 grams for each color. Really minimal. As least as you can get. Don't forget, we've used a lot of the white. So you will need a bit more of the white. You're looking at between 50 and 80 grams. Or we'll say 50 actually, because that's an 85 gram skein. And I'd already used some of it before. So just say 50 grams. You won't need it all today. The other few grams you're going to use on Monday when we join our piece together. But for today, you will need, obviously, you're going to make all your squares and join them. You will need your crochet hook. Now I used a size 4mm hook. You can use any hook that you like depending on the yarn. You will need your scissors. You will need your darning, weaving, sewing needle. You will need that because we're going to have a few ends here. And you will need a stitch marker, and we only use it I think twice or 3 times. I can't even remember how much we used it during the tutorial. Now just quickly, if you wanted to, you could make your pouch or your pencil case or your makeup bag, whatever you want to make, like that. Or you can make one of those long pencil cases that you see in the stores, just like that. Either way, what we'll do on Monday, once we crochet our seams together there and we crochet in the round up the top on either side, then you can do your measurements and go out and find yourself a zip to match and some lining. Okay, so there you go. That is what we are making today. I'm not going to talk anymore. We're just going to get started. Good luck, guys. All right, we're going to start off with a quick slip knot and grab your tail end, wrapping it around your finger once and twice, holding it there and holding it down there as well. All right, pass your back loop halfway over, hold it there. Pass the other loop all the way over and grab your hook and pull a loop through. Okay, now if your tail end isn't that long, I would do it again because otherwise it's going to get very tricky to weave in that center later. All right. Okay, we're going to start off by chaining up 4, and a chain is yarn over your hook, pull a loop through to the loop on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to pop your hook in that very first stitch you did, pop 2 loops over the top, 1 on the bottom, okay, pull a loop through, pulling that down so you see that little line, that little thread under there, then pulling it through to the loop on your hook. Hold everything like that because you're going to work in that center. Chaining another 3, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to pop a double crochet in that center, and that's yarn over your hook, straight in the center, working over your little tail there, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. All right, now before you continue, I'm just going to grab the stitch marker because I want you to pop your stitch marker in. I'll show you exactly where. That's the last stitch we just made. You've got your 2 loops on that last stitch right there. Okay, you want to put it in the chains, the 2 loops in the chain before that stitch we just did. Okay, probably should have put that in before, but never mind, it's there now. I'm not very good with stitch markers, guys. I keep forgetting them in every tutorial. tutorial. Yarn over. We're going to do another double crochet in that space, and we are working over this tail. So pop your hook in the chain space, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. All right. In this round and all the other rounds, the chains will act as a double crochet in this round. So 1, 2, 3. You need to form a corner now, which is chain 1 and 2. Now we are going to pop in 3 double crochets in the same center. Okay, there's your 1. We might just get a nice close up. You can have a better look at what's going down there. Yarn over, and there's your second 1. Okay, and your third. Chain 1 and 2 to form another corner. Okay, so you've got 3 there, chain 2, 3 there, chain 2, and yes, we're going to put another 3. 1, 2, 3, and yet again another corner. 1 and 2. And now we're going to put our last 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so what you have here, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we are going to do our chain 2, 1 and 2. Now, remember how I asked you to pop your stitch marker in that chain, that top chain? That looks really tight for me, by the way. It's such a Mary stitch. Pop your hook without any loops or anything. Just pop your hook. I'll take mine undone, will I? Pop your hook in your stitch marker stitch. Oh, that'll teach me. It really will. Now, grab your thread, pull the loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. That is a slip stitch. All right. Now, you're not going to continue using your white. You are going to grab that tail, pull it through, grab your scissors, give it a cut, and there you go. All right, that's your first part of your square. So your square should look like that. That's the middle bit now. So keep it where it is because you don't want to crochet on the wrong side of it. You still want to crochet on that side. For those of you who have joined us new this week, you would not know that I don't like to start in a corner where there's already a tail. I will start in that corner just before. So pop your hook in that corner just before, or wherever you want to pop your hook. You can start where the tail end is if you like, by all means. That's too close, sorry guys. Just grab your tail end. That didn't work, let's try that again. Grab your tail end of your gold or whatever colour you're using and pull a loop through. Make sure you've got plenty of tail to play with later. Just grab that tail end, passing it forward, only because we're going to lock that into place in a minute. Chaining 1, you've done this before, and 2 and 3. Now grab your stitch marker so you don't forget. Pop it in that first thread there and the thread at the back, and there should be 1 underneath. So 2 on top and 1 underneath, and that is your stitch. All right. Now see this tail? We're going to work over it. You're going to weave that in as well later, but we're going to work over it as well. If you don't want to work over it, that's fine. Yarn over your hook, pop it in the corner, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. That's your first double crochet. In actual fact, it's your second one for this corner because your chains will count as your first. You're going to do another one in the corner, crocheting over your tail if you like, and you're going to chain 2, or 1 and 2. Then you're going to do 3 double crochets all in the same corner. Super duper easy, yeah? Super duper easy. It is. I love doing the granny square. It is super easy. And there's your third one. Now we're not putting chains in between our work, so grab that tail end, pass it at the back. And also to the newbies, I like to crochet over that tail end. I grab it at the back. Yes, I start my crochet and pop it in the corner, pull a loop through, and I let go of that tail end now. And then you just do your normal double crochet. Now if you find that tail is too loose, give it a tug. Now you put 2 more double crochets in there, 1 and 2. Now this is a corner like this, so you're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 3 double crochets there, 1, 2. Notice how I've gone right over that tail, 3, and over the knot. The whole thing has just disappeared. However, I'm still going to weave that in later as well. Yes, I am. Big stickler in that area. So you got your 3, 2, 3. Okay. Yarn over your hook, popping into your very next corner with your 3, 2, 3 again. So 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going too fast. Chain 2. I do that sometimes, I forget. And 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Skipping over these 3 double crochets, jumping into your corner with your 3, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. There's our stitch marker. Okay, that is actually finished. Not yet. we need to join it. So we are going to join in that stitch marker stitch. So pop your hook in in your tight stitch like that. You can take that stitch marker out if you like, or you can leave it in until after you perform your stitch. It doesn't matter. Okay, just grab your loop, pulling it through and pulling it through to the loop on your hook. You have formed your second row of your granny square. All right, so now we're not going to cut the thread because we are going to do a second row. Yes, so what we need to do is slip stitch into these stitches to get to the corner. So you pop your hook in that very first V, because you're already in this V, so you pop your hook in that V that you come to, grabbing your loop, pulling it through, and then pull it through to the loop on your hook. Don't do these too tight or too loose. Going into your very next stitch there, grabbing a loop, pulling it through to the loop on your hook. Now from here, you're going to go straight into that space. Pop your hook in, pull a loop through, and pull it through to the loop on your hook. And you're in the corner. Now you chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. Guess what? Grab that stitch marker. Oh, I didn't do that one too tight. That's good. Oh dear. What to do with me. All right. Now we're going to pop in 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, and of course these chains will act as a double crochet, so you've got 3 there, chaining 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. Now this round is a little bit different. In a moment you'll notice 2 and 3, because we now have that space there. Okay, and you have to put 3 double crochets in there, or as I like to call them, a cluster set. Yarn over, pop them in that space, pull up a loop, and you're doing your 3 double crochets like normal. Okay, then you're popping in this corner with what I like to call a double cluster set, and that is your 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. This is basic granny square, guys, very basic granny square. Chaining 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. Now at the end of this corner here, you have to jump into the next one, but you have got that space again right there. So you need to pop your 3 double crochets or 1 cluster set in that space. Okay. Occasionally I use the word cluster set so that you understand that if you put 1 cluster set in there, you know you're putting 3. If you put a double cluster set in your corner, you'll know you're doing 3, 2, 3. Okay, it is a little bit of crochet jargon there, if you will. 1, 2, or crochet lingo, whatever you want to call it. Okay, 3 in there. Okay, so you've got your 3, 2, 3 in the corner. Now you jump into that middle space with 1 cluster set. 1, 2, and 3. And now we jump into the corner with a double cluster set. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Right, you've got 1 space left before we get to the corner, which is already full. So you still need to do 1 cluster set in that space. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. All right, and here you don't need to put your corner in because it's already in there, but you do need to slip stitch to join. So pop your hook in, so much easier when you do it a bit not so tight. Pull the loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. Now, that's the end of our square. So what I want you to do, grab your tail end, pull up your loop, give your work a cut, and there you go. All right, take your stitch marker out, by the way. All right, now, just before we start, I'm going to show you 1 tail end. There we go. All right, just start off with that very first end. Now, I know a lot of people don't do this, but I'm telling you now, weave them in. Because of one time you'll come back to me and say, oh, I didn't weave it in, and I put it in the wash and yuck. Yeah, you'll say those words too, really you will. When you're weaving in your ends here, all you're doing is popping your needle through some ends. This is at the back, by the way, not the front. Before you weave that in, just check that you can't see the needle there, and you can't. So you pop your needle through. And then you keep going a little bit more. Why? Because Mary is a big stickler at this. Wants to make sure there's no ends. See the ends all gone? No needle? Good. All right. Now, you can continue going in the round, but at some stage, my thread's a bit short. At some stage, you need to go back in the same direction that you came from, in the opposite direction that you came from, sorry, and just make sure you can't see it. This will help keep everything in place. If you don't do this, it's likely that it'll come out in a wash, or, you know, if you mess with it too much, play with it too much, it'll come undone, and then you won't be happy. Stranger things have happened. Give it a cut. Trust me, I've done this before. All right, give it a good tug, and the little tail end hides inside those stitches. All right, now these two here, you know now how to do that. It's pretty much the same. You weave that one in and out of there, you weave that one in and out of there. Be careful with this one because we crocheted over it, so make sure you don't unravel what we crocheted in. Weave that in off air. All right, in the meantime, let's talk business. All right, let's talk business. All right, now I've already done all of my squares. So what you need to do is head off on your own and do, oh, I think it's 20, but let's set it up so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, oh, I can't remember now. Oh dear. Yes, now I do. Sorry, my brain I just had a temporary lapse of, yeah, my brain just shut down. Whoops, here we go. All right, so that's pretty much what you need there and there. Now, you don't have to do it this way. This is just how I like it. When it folds over, it's going to look like this. I want to show you so that you know what you're looking at. 1, 2, and 3. That's going to be, I'm sorry, that's going to be one side. And half of this is going to be one side, and half of this is going to be the other side. So let's try it. It'll be like that, and these will be like that, if you know what I mean. So just imagine, this has got the end still on it, just imagine that closed up. These are the front, that's the middle. All right. We will be lining our little crochet bag or pencil case or makeup bag, whatever you want to call it. We will be lining it, but probably not today. At this stage, all we're doing is crocheting the squares and putting these squares together. All right. So what you're going to need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 fours are 20. You need 20 squares. All right, what I want you to do is head off on your own, make your 20 squares. Join me back here in a moment so that we can join our squares together. Good luck making your squares and I'll meet you in a moment. Ta-da! Took a while, huh? So you've done all your squares, you've weaved in all your ends, you are now ready to attach. Best part, guys, best part. So what I want you to do, take the first load of colours away and just leave your two sides that you're going to crochet together for now. Yep. Now, turning them around. This is the right side at this stage. Yeah. What you're going to do is get rid of those for now. You're going to fold in your two colours. So your wrong sides will be in the middle. Let me get a close up for you now. Your wrong sides will be in the middle and your right sides will be on the outer edge. So we're here. We now have to crochet along here. Okay, so what I want you to do is to pop your hook in any corner of the square you're going to have up on the top of your bag, all right? And then pop it on the opposite side of the colour that's going just underneath the square. So grabbing your contrast colour or whatever colour you used, pull a loop through and just pass your thread over. You just want to lock it into place for those few seconds. So you're chaining one. I say seconds, I mean a few stitches. And you're doing a single crochet in that space, same space that you're in. So pop your hook in the space, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Grab that tail and pop it at the back now. Now, this stitch right here is a stitch. You are popping it in every V. See the little V's? You're going to pop your hook in every V along, all right? So there's your first one. Try not to miss that first one. Okay, pop your hook in there and pop it in the opposite V, okay? And single crochet. 1, yeah? Then we're going to go into the very next and the opposite and single crochet 2, and so on and so forth, all the way across your row. Okay, now we did this particular stitch in the tea cozy when we made our tea cozy and when we made our hot water bottle. If you're wanting to make those, I've left links to those playlists in the description box down below, very first links that you come to. You can go ahead and make those and then, you know, join us back to do this if you like, or you can do them all. It doesn't matter, just for fun. Let's just have fun with it. All right, so let me do the last one. I'm on the last one. Sorry, I should have been not talking so much. That's our last stitch right there. So I'm going to pop the hook in that last stitch, and you should have one last stitch. If you haven't, you may have gone wrong on your count, so go back and check that. In the meantime, that's the last stitch. Now you've got that last corner space. You're going to pop your hook in there, pop it in the opposite side, and do your normal single crochet. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab 2 more squares, pop them there. All right, so I'm going to, whoops, I'm going to put these, oh, I'm making a mess here. Get it right, woman. Here we go. All right, so we are going to grab, see those 2 squares? Grab them together like we did with these. We've still got this in our hand. This part here is a tiny little bit fiddly, but it's not difficult, all right? So pop your hook in your next corner and pop it in the opposite corner. Pull a loop through, and now you're just going to give everything a big tug because you don't want that stitch to be loose. So it's got to be nice and tight. And then you do your normal single crochet across. Whoops. All right, and then you hop straight into your very next stitch and the opposite stitch right there. And there you go. We're going to do another one. And if you're anything like me, you can pass them straight through both. But I think it's better to do them separately just to save you from splitting stitches. Okay, now I've done that before where I've just gone like this and got through both of them like that. Okay, that's a little bit tricky, so you know it can happen where you will split a stitch, you'll get to 3/4 of the way through and then you'll think, oh gosh, I've split the stitch. Alright, so best to just do it separate like that. I mean, you know, the flow will come easier after a while, but for now it's best to do it like that. And we've got our last stitch right there, like so. And let's have a quick look at that piece. Alright, and there you go. If it's really, really loose, then you're in trouble. But if it's kind of like that, that's perfect. If it's really loose, you need to take it undone. Alright, but that looks perfect to me. So you grab another 2 squares and you go across and do that with those 2 squares. And then you grab another 2 squares and you go across and do that with those other 2 squares. So what I would like for you to do, and this is the best part, guys, I know you can do this, head off on your own, finish these last 2 squares, 2 sets of squares, and I'll meet you back in a moment. Alrighty guys, I got to the end of my row. I'm going to pop my single crochet in the last space on the corner there. Don't forget that space. And then all I'm going to do is pull up a loop, grabbing my scissors and giving it a cut. Okay, now from here, my next colour was the gold. Oh, sorry. Thought I brought that out. Sorry about that. My next colour was the gold. Still is the gold. This is one side of your work. Now this is the gold that's going to look like that. Okay. But for now, all we're doing is doing exactly that along there. Now I'm going to start you off and then I'm going to let you head off on your own and you're going to continue. Okay. Now grabbing your gold again. Getting rid of all of those, just grab one for now. Remember your right sides are still facing you at the moment, but when you fold them together, the right sides are still facing you, the wrong sides are in the middle there, okay? All right, popping your hook in the corner and popping your hook in the corner of your other piece, and grabbing your little tail end. Again, if you're using a different colour, by all means, get multicolour. Go for it, I'd say. But if you're using the same colour as us, let's get on with it. Chain 1 and single crochet in the same space. Just grab that tail at the back. All right, now remember that very first space you come to right there, a little bit tight, that first one, and there should be 1, 2 and 3. That's the opposite right there. You can see the chains, or the V's if you will, not the chains. Do your single crochet in there, single crochet in your next, and your next. I'm going to get you across to the second piece, just to show you that corner bit again. I know it's the same as it is the other way, but when you're putting them together along the side here, it can get a little confusing if you're new to crochet. So just continue your single crochets all the way across. One more after this one. And there's our last one. That's the last stitch. It's not the last single crochet, because your last single crochet goes in that corner right there. All right, now you grab another gold. Okay, and you are jumping straight into that corner, jumping over into the other corner with your single crochet, remembering to keep that stitch a little tight there with your single crochet. All right, pop into that very first stitch right there and off you go. If I can get into that next stitch, it almost looked like I was splitting it there. Don't want that, do we? With your single crochet. Yeah, the gold is very splitty for some reason, but anyway, there you go. All right, so what I want for you to do is to, you guessed it, head off on your own, just finish these golds and then meet me back here, because things are going to change a tiny little bit. So go ahead and do that side and I'll meet you back. Alrighty guys, we're here at the end of the row. I've done my last stitch there and the opposite side. Now I just want to pop into my space, single crochet right in that space there. And again, you're going to pull up a loop and you're going to give it a cut, just leaving your tails for now. Don't stress too much about that. So we're going to crochet over those tails anyways. Your next layer is that layer, and then you've got that. So you're really finished. However, I want to give the same look on that side as I've done this side. Bit of method behind the madness. You will see it at the end. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn it around like so, just pretending like the bag has not been crocheted on yet. Yeah. And you're going to work from that way to that way. And then you're going to join your oranges. Okay, so you're getting that same look. See how it's kind of looking upside down there? When you turn it around the other way, it's looking the right way up. It doesn't make sense yet, but just turn your work around like that and pop your next color, which is your whatever color you use. I'm using the green. So now I'm going to be attaching the green. I'm going to be looking at the green and attaching the green to my piece. Okay, it doesn't matter about tail ends because tail ends are on both sides, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so now we're going to grab our work. Oh, by the way, it's still your right sides facing you. And then when you bring it together, the wrong sides are in the middle and your right side is facing you. All right, I might just do that just to get, so you can see what I'm doing. Pop your hook in your green and through to your gold. Let's get a nice close up here. Oh, I just lost the white. I had it in my hand a minute ago. It's gone. Fell off the table as you do. All right, so there's your little end. You're grabbing your tail and you're passing it through like normal, pulling it forward just to help lock it into place, chaining a one and a single crochet in the same space. You know what you're doing here, guys, because you've done it all the way through. So really, once again, all you're doing is popping a single crochet in each stitch across. All right, I just sped that up for you guys. I didn't mean to speed it up. It's just that I know that you know what you're doing with these little single crochets here. That's the last one there. And then you guessed it, directly into your corners like so. You need another green. So let me grab another green so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Whoops. So you've got your green. Yes. Grabbing your two pieces, a little bit fiddly now because our piece is growing. You're going to pop your hook in your next corner and your next opposite corner, and you're going to do that single crochet, giving it a nice tight tug and pull your loop through. All right. Remember, don't forget that first stitch right there or you're going to be lopsided at the end of the row. Okay. And then off you go. Super duper easy, yeah? Super duper easy. I'm not going to show you this because I know you know what you're doing. I would like for you to continue that all the way across, finish up your green and meet me back here in a moment. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. I'm going to pop a single crochet in my corner space right there. And as per usual, we're going to pull up a loop. You're going to give it a cut. And you guessed it, you're going to grab that last set. So let's have a look. This is what you have so far. All right, so literally, let me just show you what I mean. So when you fold it in half, because that's going to be the half where the gold is, when you're looking at your bag, this is just for looks what I did here. When you're looking at your bag this way and it's going down that way, it looks nice, right? And then when you're looking at it that way, it also looks nice, okay? So I'm hoping that makes sense. I don't know if it makes any sense at all. Oh, I'm upside down. Any sense at all? Oh, upside down. All right, grab your next color. Yay, this is your very last color. Get excited, guys. All right, so once again, we are going to pop all the other ones away. You don't need those. We're going to start again. Pop your hook, whoops, in the corner. Pop your hook in the opposite corner. I'm just going to move this out the way because it's going to be hard for you to see. All right, and then you grab your tail end. Oh, it's going to fall off the table already. Okay, grab your tail end, pulling that loop through, oops, too short. Don't make them too short, we can't weave them in. All right, and just chaining one, once again, single crochet, okay? And now you just jump straight into that very first stitch again. Super duper easy. You're now a champion at it because you've done it so many times. Okay. All right, oops, that didn't work. I just split the yarn there. Hello. Okay, let's try that again without a splitting. And there you go. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and let you watch me do it. You are going to head off on your own. You're going to do that one. Oops, forgot to bring it out. Hello. That, and that. Like so. Let's bring it up. Head off on your own. Do that side there. Come back and meet me here and get ready for the next step. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. I'm going to pop a single crochet in my corner stitch. Get excited. That's only half your work done. Sorry. You got another half to go. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. Alright, let's lay it all out. This is what you should have. Right now, it should look like that. It already almost looks good, yeah? Already almost. So if you're going to fold it in half, this is pretty much the look you're going for. That is huge. That's very big. It's really big. You could have just done, you know, the 3 if you wanted to. Look. But doesn't matter. It's good. We can use it for a pencil case or we can use it for any other things. And the fact that we're going to line this on Monday, get excited guys. This will be lined. This bag is going to be lined. If you don't want to line it, you don't have to, but yours truly, we're going to line. Okay. All right. So that's what you have so far. Flip it to the side. Now you have to do along this way. Now this way, it doesn't matter which side you do it in, but remain consistent in this side. Before we didn't have to remain consistent because we want them to look different on both, we want them to look the same on both sides. So they had to be different, yes? So now, this way, we have to remain consistent. If we're gonna go this way, we go this way, this way, this way, all the way, right? So in the meantime, let's get started. Whoops. Fold it that way and just have the 2 of them facing you, if that helps. All right, so when I say fold it, let's go back. Let's try that again. All right, so that's your right side. We're still working on your right side, okay? So what you need to do is exactly what you were doing before. You're folding it this way and you're working along that side all the way, okay? So you're going to work alongside that way. So folding it together like that, and start working. Now I'm just going to move mine this way, only because it interferes with the camera when I'm doing it that way. So just with your wrong sides together again, popping your hook here, popping it on the opposite side. It's going to be a little different because now we have, just going to bring that down a little bit, because now we have this that we need to go over, okay, the middle bit. All right, so this part here is a little different, but once you get the first side done, the rest is just, you know, exactly the same. All right, let me get a nice close-up for you all. There you go. So you're chaining one and you're single crocheting in the corner. So nothing here is different. This is all the same. Okay. Now, popping your hook in there, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to speed this part up because this is all the same, and I'll speed it up until we get to that section there for you. All right, there's your third one, or your third last one, I should say. It's going to get a little tight and a little fiddly here. That is normal. Okay, there's your second last one. And notice how I'm splitting it because I want to make sure I get in all the stitches. Your second last one there. Okay. Because you won't notice it now, but once the bag is together, if you've missed a stitch, it's going to be very noticeable. Okay, so there's your last one. And right on the opposite side, you will see your last stitch there. And now, remember how we went into the corner? We're going to do exactly that. Just push down your work a little bit, jump into that corner and do a single crochet like normal. And here you're going to chain one, jumping into the pink corner, doing a single crochet. Don't make them too loose. Single crochet in your very next stitch right there. Okay, a little bit fiddly this particular side, and the rest of them, they're all going to be this fiddly, okay? But it's quick and easy. It is quicker than doing other joins. It does look nice with a decorative look on top of your work. I like the decorative look. All right, we will eventually do another way of joining our squares together, be it sewing them together or another way of crocheting them together. By the way, I don't think I've done a sewing together one yet. I've done always join as you go or single crochet. So a sewing one will be fun, maybe just once. I might just show you a patch rather than doing a whole blanket because I don't sew my ends together. I used to when I did the old Victorian style blanket, but I don't do that anymore. It's just the hours are phenomenal. It just takes so long. It's quick and easy to crochet them together as you go. Now I'm on my second last stitch there. Was it the last? I can't remember now. It's the last. Try the last, Mary. Duh. There you go. Now we've got the space before the stitch. Pop your hook in that space, doing your single crochet. Remember what we do here? We chain one and then we jump straight into the very next space of your next color, and there you go. It's not difficult. It's just a tiny little bit fiddly. It happens. It's okay. We'll get used to it. Have a funny feeling I did this particular square in a 4.5 because it's really loose. Look at that. When I say 4.5, a 4mm hook. I might have done this one in a 4.5. It does look a little bit bigger than the others, so if it's one square, you can get away with it. By the looks of it, I think I have. The fact that this is for me, I'm not too worried. But if I was making for someone else as a professional, I would take that undone and replace it with a 4. I really would, because it does make a difference. We'll see at the end of the project how much of a difference it made, but it does make a slight difference. And we're nearly there towards the end. Well, the end of the second one. Oh no, it's the end of the third one. Oh, we're nearly there. That's good. Coolio. All right. Okay, get in that stitch there. Okay, and in the very last stitch, right there. And now in that space right there. Again, what are you going to do here? You're going to chain one, jump into your very next space and next color. All right, make sure you get that next space correct, otherwise you will be crooked. And there's your first stitch. After that, the rest kind of all marry up, okay? Well, so long as you're keeping your work straight. Okay. Easy, easy. Now, the way we've done our rectangle, because it's not exactly a square, it's a rectangle, you can actually sew this together. Try crochet this together either side, and I'll explain that to you once we're done. Oh, if I can get in here now, because it's the last square, it's getting a little bit tricky to hold, and of course I've got one with a knot right there, of course. Should always do the knotted sides first. That way you don't get caught out. Okay, there you go. Okay, there and there. Okay, like that. Last one. And the little chain, the space. Hello. I'll just fix up my piece. It's a little bit awkward now. All right, now we're going to chain our one. And we're going to jump straight into the very next corner, like so. This can be a little bit fiddly, this section, because we are on the last square. So just make sure you get into every stitch. When you first start the stitch of the row, it's okay. After that, everything just flows naturally. All right? Too easy. Just going to pop this on speed for a minute. right, we are on, oh, it's very hard to see now, isn't it? This orange. All right, we are on the last stitch right there. There's your last one right there. And there's your last on the opposite side. Oops, I just split that. Here we go. Bit fiddly, this part. And now I've got that little space in the corner. You have to do your space to close it all up. Chain one. Give your yarn a cut. Sorry, that was off air, I do apologise. But you know what I did, I cut the yarn. All right, and there is your first side done. Ta-da! How gorgeous does that look? Bring it out a bit. Ah, there you go, that's better. I mean, look at it. It just looks stunning. And if you used maybe a hot red, listen to me and my reds, a hot red and a black, or a hot red and a blue, and it would give it that wintry look as well. And this could be red. Ah, it could look gorgeous. Or you could use the black in there, and that could be red, and then this could be red, black. Ah, there's so many options. Well, so many colour options anyway. All right, that's super easy. No, it wasn't really. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's okay. Fiddly is good. It means we're doing the right thing, okay? See how I said this one does look a little big? I can tell the difference between a smaller piece and a larger piece, okay? Because it's for me, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave that there. But if I was making for someone, I would take that undone and use a 4. What I think I did there, oh no, even that's a 4.5 as well, because look how small our white squares are. Our little white ones are, okay? And this is relatively big. Anyway, cutting a long story short, that doesn't matter for you. I would like for you to go along and do each one of these rows. You don't need to cut these or weave them in, because the next row we're going to crochet over them and they will go inside your pouch, and you can actually weave them in on the inside of the pouch, which is so much easier, and you don't have to fuss too much at where you're putting your stitch. Now, I know a lot of people, once they close up their pouch this way or close up their pouch that way or whatever they do, they actually don't weave them in. They just tuck them in the pouch. I find that it's like a half a job, so I would rather weave them in. But anyway, that's me. Now, do yourselves a favour. Do that row and that row, and guess what? Meet me back here and get ready for what's going to happen next. Ta-da! That didn't take too long, not really. How gorgeous does that look? All right, so now what we're going to do, we are actually going to start by doing a row of single crochet in the round. Usually I start in the corner, but today I'm going to start on our very third last stitch there, and I'll show you that as a close-up so you can see. That's the first square. All right, now close up, you will have your 1, 2 and 3 double crochets and that tight stitch where we slip stitch to join. If you don't have that last stitch there that's all bubbled like that, just go 1, 2 and 3 and pop your hook in that third last stitch right there, grabbing your tail end and pulling a loop through. Pop your tail end over the front here, just in front, just so you can lock it into place. And in fact, you can probably crochet over this tail end a little bit, okay, like so. Chaining 1, give that a nice tight tug, yeah. Single crochet in the same space. So I've crocheted over that tail, but guess what? I'm going to keep crocheting for 2 more stitches. 1 and 2. All right, whoops, don't split the yarn. Pop your tail at the back, and now we're going to single crochet in your space right there. 1. Okay, so now you've got your little stitch right there. Normally we would do a chain 1, jump over it. In this case, we're not going to. We're going to single crochet on top of it. So pop your hook in that stitch with a single crochet like that. And see how I've got my tail end up? This is a way we're going to crochet it in. You don't have to use this way, but I'll just try it first and see how you go. Pop your hook in the space and start your single crochet. Complete it like normal. Then you're going to go into that very first stitch with a single crochet, crocheting over the tail end like so. Okay, and then into the next, and then into the next. And you know what? You're going to drop it now. You can go further if you like, but you're still going to weave that in, okay? But what that's doing is it's actually reinforcing, sorry, keep going with your single crochets. It's reinforcing that stitch, so that's not going to ever come undone. Like afterwards, when you decide you want to line it and you wash it and then all of a sudden it starts coming undone, the only way you can get it to fix is to rip apart your lining, okay? So this way, there's no way that's going to come undone. Even if you accidentally forget to weave that in, that will not come undone. Preferably weave it in. Now, if you didn't want to do that, you could just continue crocheting like so. Single crochet in your space before your stitch. There's your stitch. You're going to go into the stitch with a single crochet, tight stitch there. So Mary always does those. And then you can just do a normal single crochet in there and so on, like so, all the way across, yes? But yours truly, I'm very, very pedantic when it comes to ends. You guys know me. If you are joining us new, firstly, welcome. But for my regulars, they do know how much I fuss about ends. And a lot of people say, oh, how can you be bothered? Well, I can, because you can make the most perfect work and then all of a sudden, by the way, you're jumping into your space there, you create something gorgeous and then all of a sudden it comes undone because you didn't weave that end in properly. So this is what I do. I crochet over it and then I weave it in later as well for extra reassurance. This is the square that was really big, by the way. You can actually tell because my hook goes in the stitch too easy and I don't crochet that loosely. So I've actually used a 4.5mm on this square. So there you go. Never mind. This is the chain stitch. So just keep single crocheting all the way across. I think you know pretty much what you're doing here. So what I might do, I might pop this up fast until we get to the first corner. So just keep going and I'll meet you up at that first corner. I'll just pop it on fast. I won't head off on my own or anything. I'll just pop it on fast, all right? Okay, so how did you go? Not that difficult at all. All right, so what you should have is that, and all your ends should be tucked in at the back now if you followed that direction of single crocheting. If it's not, don't stress, you can just sew them in at the back when you get to that stage. We are going to continue. Ta-da! All right. Now in the corner, normally we would put 3 single crochets to form the corner. Well, we don't want to do that because we want our corners to curve to help our purse look turned in up the top. So all we're going to do is pop 1 single crochet in the corner, turn your work, go straight into your very first stitch. That is all you're doing. And then you're going into your next, and your next, and your next, and your next. Now, when you get to certain corners of your work, I mean certain, centers of your work where the tail end is, sometimes the tail might be facing the other way or sometimes it's facing one way. It doesn't matter. Either way, you can crochet over your tail end, single crochet in the space. Remember what we do here? We single crochet in our very first single crochet there, like, oops, don't lose it like I just did, like so, and there you go. Now you're hopping into that next center and you are crocheting over your tail if you want to. Okay, again, not necessary. I just do this for extra support. Okay, oops, a little bit tricky. And there you go. All right, I tell you what we're going to do now. Yes, you're wondering, no, don't do it. Yes, we're doing it. So head off on your own, do your whole round, get to your, oh dear, yours truly did not put a stitch marker in our first stitch. So get yourself a stitch marker. It's not really necessary because you can see it, but see those 2 threads right there. Whoops, don't break a stitch marker like I almost did. I did almost. There you go. See those 2 threads right there? You're popping your stitch marker in. So get to the end of that area. Before you slip stitch to join, wait for me there. Alrighty guys, here I am at the end of the row. I have 2 single crochets left, or 1 and 2. There we go. Now what we're going to do, we're going to slip stitch into the stitch where your stitch marker is. Mine's a little tight, so I'm going to take mine out. So, hopefully yours isn't as tight as mine. I can feel that as I took that out. Alright, so just find the 2 loops right there. Pull your loop through and pull it through to the loop that was on your hook. Chain 1, but make that really tight, that chain 1. I'm going to pop a single crochet in the same space. I didn't make that too tight this time. Okay, all right. And now what you're going to do is pop a single crochet in every stitch you come to. You don't have to worry about weaving in ends. You don't have to worry about going over anything. Just go into every stitch, but I will show you close up of this section here. There's a normal stitch there. All right, now there's 2 stitches there. Okay, that's the one that's on top of your work there. Okay, so there's 1, and then there's 1 that's in the next corner space that we put in, and then there's that one, and you just keep going all the way across. Now if you wanted to, you could actually have used a different color for this particular row, just to add a bit of spice to your work. I wouldn't. I actually like it like this. But again, lots of people love lots of colour, and they may be destashing their yarn, getting rid of all the little bibs and bobs that are everywhere, as you do. All right, so let's get to that corner again. Let's just show you again. All right, there's the stitch before the corner. Well, that's actually a stitch that we jumped into the corner, yes? And the stitch there, it's very tight, but there is a stitch, so make sure you get into that stitch or you'll be 1 stitch short in the round. Okay, so just wherever you see 2 loops together, a little V, that's where you go. Okay, there's a V there, there's a V there. Don't you hate it when that happens? Look, I'm not. Oh, it happens. All right, so a V there, and a V in your next. Whoops, don't split the yarn. And in your next, and your next. And if you're anything like me, these single crochets are very tight. And in your next, let's get to this little corner section. Again, there's the stitch just before the corner. There's your one that we jumped into the corner. And there's your little tight stitch right there. You must get that stitch. All right, and then you're jumping into that stitch there. All right, super duper easy. I'm going to speed it up until we get to that very first corner. Okay, alrighty guys, here we go. We're nearly close to the corner. What I would like for you to do is just keep going and going. Now with the corner, you're going to see that turning in. That is normal. You haven't made a mistake. Okay, single crochet in your next stitch. Now wherever you see a V, that's where you're single crocheting. So just go through. You're not counting anything. You're just finding your next V. Okay, and it will tug in the corner. That is normal. Okay, and there you go, you're done. Well, you've done that side. You haven't done yet, you're not complete. Nice try. All right, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, what I would like for you to do is continue in that manner. You know what you're doing. Get to this very stitch marker right here, and I shall meet you up. Alrighty guys, here we are at the end of the row. I'm just going to pop my last 3 single crochets in there. 2 and 3, and there's our stitch marker right there. All right, so what you're going to do, it's a little bit loose this time, which is good. You're just going to slip stitch to join. Take out your stitch marker for a minute, or for a second. No, actually take it out for permanently for now. Pull a loop through, grabbing your scissors, giving it a cut. You're thinking, what? We're not finished yet. No, we're not. And we're not going to finish today either. Guys, this is all I want to do today. All right, this is part 1 of making your crochet hook pouch or pencil case or whatever you want to call it. On Monday, we are going to attach the side seams, and then we're going to do one more round of single crochet after we've attached the side seams. We might do 2, I haven't decided yet. And once we do that, we are going to attach a zip, and we are going to attach a lining. Now, I didn't actually mention what size zip to get. Now, the reason being is because I'm using carnival yarn from Big W. Now, if you are using a different type of yarn, it's going to be different thickness. Now, I find the Big W yarn really thick. Okay, even though it does say it's an 8 ply or a number 3, I still think it's relatively thick. Now, if this was a real 8 ply number 3, it would be this small. Okay, so it doesn't matter either way. What you need to do first is, when we attach our side seams and do our 1 or 2 rows of the top, you will find out that measurement then on yours, how big it is. Okay, then you can go and find yourself a zip and then come back and join us to attach the zip. And that's it. So I will see you on Monday. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and do all those wonderful things that you guys already do for me. And all I want to say right now is ciao for now.